Well, good morning, everybody, and lovely to see you all, and welcome to the launch of Resilient and Ready, a fantastic and really ambitious, but also very inspiring project between Corteva and ourselves at LEAF. My name's Caroline Drummond. I'm the Chief Exec at LEAF, and I'm going to be introducing you to a few of the key kind of real drivers behind this project. Alice Midmer, who works with us at LEAF, and Simon Parker as well from Corteva. But to just kick off, this is very much about a 3-year immersive project. It's an action-packed program of training, technical support, and mentoring. And originally we were just going to try it with 2 farmers, but we've got 4 brilliant farmers, which you will be seeing in different groups, and they're Ben Lowe and Harriet Ross, Craig and Claire Grant, both up in Scotland, Andy Bason, the manager down in Alresford in Hampshire, and Nick Down, managing Yattendon Estate in Berkshire. We're going to hear a bit, I'm going to just do a quick sort of Q&A with Alice and Simon to start off with, to give you an overview of the project and get a kind of a spirit of why this is really driving farmers to be in the right space for being fit for the future in what we are going to see in a very changing and transformative food and farming system over the next 5 to 10 years. But this is going to really, well, we believe, be quite a game changer. And as you hear from the farmers, you'll understand why they, already really good farmers anyway in their own right, are actually turning up the volume to be even better, sparky, and obviously encourage others to be down the same route. So welcome everybody. Just a few bits of housekeeping. This event is being recorded, and what's going to happen is we're going to have about sort of 10 minutes here now in the sort of the quick Q&A. If you wish to ask questions, please put them in chat, and we will then be going into breakout rooms. You've been assigned into breakout rooms, and there is an opportunity, of course, to view the other pieces of activity and work afterwards from the recording, which we will also share with you. But again, there is an opportunity to put questions there, and please do send us further questions if you either want to be involved more or like what you see and think, yay, you know, let's get really much more engaged in it as well. So I really am going to sort of start off with you, Alice. Can you sort of say, you know, what are we really trying to do here and what the program is all about?
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. I think, you know, the key is in the title, Resilient and Ready, and that is really what we're looking to work on. In this instance, we're working, as you say, with 4 farmers who are all, as you say, fantastic farmers in their own right, but really keen to change their systems and their businesses in this sort of direction of travel of more regenerative, more integrated farm management type approaches. And also, so at the end of these 2 years, we're gradually getting more resilient and more ready. But at the end of that, be really in that sort of state of mind, and also hopefully become LEAF demonstration farmers, so they can then spread and share what they've learned throughout that. I think a key part of it for us and for Corteva also is looking at what type and what level and what tools do farmers need to kind of make these changes. As what sort of type of support, what type of tools do they need, and also what timescale we're talking about, and what that looks like. What are the pitfalls? What are the challenges? What are the win-wins? And where these happen along the way and how they can be overcome. With the idea that, you know, we're looking at 4 businesses, we're not looking at thousands, but actually by really honing in on the detail, what can we learn for other businesses looking to make some of these changes as well.
So just quickly on that, Alice, so I mean, this is sort of kick-started earlier in the year, but I mean, this is the official launch, because obviously there's always a few sort of teething problems. What have been some of the key learnings so far? Starting in a global pandemic being the first one,
But so to give everyone an idea of the timescales, we had some sort of events to attract farmers back in autumn last year, and these guys were selected in February, and then we spent the spring really looking at monitoring the businesses, trying for us to get to know the businesses better, and hope also, to some extent, the farmers to get to know the intricacies of their business in terms of integrated farm management, and we've worked with a number of experts in order to do that. I think one of the challenges is, where do you start? There's so much to learn, and when we're looking at sustainability and regeneration, as we all know, what metrics do you use? What figures are you using to monitor things? And even when you've got resource and we've got experts, those questions still aren't easily answered. So I'd say just trying to focus, whilst also not forgetting the bigger picture, has probably been a bit of a challenge. But really pleased that sort of in June, following the monitoring, we were able to sort of start setting objectives for these farms in each of the areas of integrated farm management to work on throughout the 2 years, just to provide a bit of that direction, but also to focus on those objectives are different for each farm, and that's always important to recognise that it's always a site-specific solution on different businesses.
Mm. And I guess from that perspective, I mean, that you're talking about fundamentally different businesses as well, and all of who will be on different parts of the journey. So that's been very, very key. So for you, Simon, why do you see this as an important project now within the industry? I mean, we're experiencing so much change, whether it be around Brexit, whether it be about climate change, and then just add into the mix COVID. How do you see this really, really works for farmers?
I think it's really important to understand how farming practices affect the different parts of the farm, and by this I mean biodiversity, soil health, and water quality. I think all of which are vital to a natural growing system. And as Alice has said, all are being measured over the 3-year programme. So it's really thinking about how we implement changes to the different farming systems on the different farms, and very much being farmer-led, and what impact those changes have on those measurements in biodiversity, soil health, and water quality. So sort of measuring the impact of the changes that we make over the 3-year period to enable us to help other farmers who are potentially looking at sustainable farming systems, who are maybe just on the edge and a little bit nervous about what steps to take and move forwards. And yeah, we can help and generate that advice for them.
No, thank you for that. Can I just a small request to everybody to put themselves on silent if they're not, or Jess will. Thank you, Simon. And in terms of for Corteva, obviously, I mean, you're a global business. This is a great partnership for us as we go into our 10-year strategy built on sort of 30 years legacy of sustainability, and a core part of Corteva is that whole global sustainability piece. This must be quite a fantastic beacon, really, from your perspective as well.
It is. It's a really great program, and as you've mentioned there, we're working on the 10-year strategy as well. We launched our global sustainability goals back in June, and they stretch out to 2030. And this program is really a key and major part of our European efforts in that direction.
So do you think we'll be seeing this partnership extend right across the globe, hopefully?
I would, yeah, it'd be great to do that. It'd be fantastic.
No promises yet, but thank you very much indeed, Simon. We'd certainly welcome that. So from Alice, from a perspective on policy and the policy changes we're seeing now with the ATP, the Agricultural Transformation Plan from the English government, and of course now Scotland and Wales coming up with their plans over the next few months and weeks. How do you see this is going to help support those policy changes?
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, that we're not doing this in a silo. It's very much a reflection of what's going on in the wider industry. Policy is going in this direction, the path to sustainable farming that we all saw a couple of weeks ago. What's important to note is that direction of travel is brilliant, but it's not always easy to do, just to say you want to. We've got 4 businesses here really keen to do it, but actually what that looks like on different businesses, as we've said, is quite different. And also, again, what we've heard in terms of a bit of the feedback from that plan is that the detail isn't necessarily as strong as it will be hopefully in the future. So what we're keen to do is sort of crack on really, and see, you know, this is the direction of travel, but actually how do we get there? Can we use this project and program as a forum and the 4 fantastic farmers that we're working with as a bit of a blueprint, sort of as we move forward in terms of what, as I mentioned before, that's sort of what level of support is required. Of course, in reality, you know, it's the farmers providing all the answers to everything, but we like to think that some of the stuff that, you know, the support that we're giving and the idea generation sort of is a big part of that as well. So I think it you know, as I say, it's 4 farms, but it's looking in really great detail at what actually the whole country is going to have to in the future.
And I think that's a really critical point that you make there, Alice, in terms of, you know, don't let government drive your business. Make sure your business is in the right place for the right reasons. And that's obviously, you know, being a really critical part of this particular project. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, you started, Caroline, you know, LEAF and Corteva were keen to lead from the front and actually show it can be done, and this is how. There's a lot, you know, there's loads of different ways to do this, but actually, you know, what does that really look like?
No, well, thank you for that. And Simon, I mean, we love working with you guys. We love working with so many people, and this is very much about partnerships as well. So there's been quite a few other people engaged in this program as well, which has been very important.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously the 4 farms, ourselves at Corteva, well, numerous people across Corteva actually gradually getting involved in their various product areas as we bring products and looking at current products, but also future products in the pipeline and potential products and services that we can develop to fit into sustainable systems. They're the areas that we are focusing on in terms of Corteva, but then there's a range of experts to help implement the program, and possibly for fear of missing anybody out, I'll perhaps defer to Alice on this one to list off a few of those experts involved, and a number of them are obviously on the call today as well.
Can see quite a few. Alice, yeah,
no, certainly. So soil is a big key focus for that, so we're working with Ian Robertson and Lewis McCarrow from Sustainable Soil Management and Hutchinson's. So we've got, as you'll learn, we've got 2 farmers in England and 2 farmers in Scotland. So some of the advice is the same people, but sometimes we've split it. And Lewis is based up in Scotland. Then we've got Ian Gould and Kirsty Brennan from Oakbank, who are here on the call as well, doing fantastic work with the English farmers on wildlife and biodiversity and habitat planning. Tamsin Morris, who's from Bragg, Scotland, has been working with the Scottish farmers, providing a similar service, which has been fantastic. We've got Andy Guy, who again is on the call and has been working with all the farmers in terms of business planning. Some of the businesses are looking to go LEAF Mark certified, so looking at direction of travel of that and really attention to detail. Also work with Susie Emmett from Green Shoots on some of the communications side of things, which has been really key. And Becky Wilson's been involved from the Farm Carbon Toolkit, doing some training for some of the farmers. So some experts working, you know, throughout the project in detail, and some others that we're bringing in for really key and core skills. And I think, yeah, that's a really important part of it for me, that we're able to bring people together is really the point of the platform. And they're a good example of that.
Yeah, no, together we're very much stronger. That's without a doubt. Well, thank you very much indeed, Alice, and thank you so much, Simon. We're now going to go into the breakout rooms. As I said, you've all been pre-allocated, but the 4 rooms are: there's Nature's Calling, Trials and Tribulations, Soil Stuff, and Do You Have the Energy for Carbon Auditing? But I can guarantee you all of them will be extremely interesting, and of course there will be an opportunity to see the other ones a bit later as well. So we've got the wonderful Jess from the LEAF team, who is going to bravely allocate us, and we're going to be in these rooms for about 35 minutes, and then we'll be called back just to finish off the key pieces. I think just before you do that as well, please, as you're in these sessions, think about opportunities of where you might want to work with us on this partnership, whether you might be able to help in other areas, and of course, as we look to roll it out, as we've sort of, when we kind of come to the next phase in it, where you might want to be much more involved as well. So Jess, over to you.